Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Huh. 2 weeks ago, I think I had met all of you, most of you, in connection with. I thought of bifurcating the general yoga and the science in yoga in general. And this session is specific, particular to the science in pranayama. Whatever you say in yoga is full of science. It is not spirituality, sir. It is full of science. Medical science, lot of medical science is involved in yoga. That's why many of the hospitals have taken up pranayama as a part of rehabilitation of their patients, and they have been very successful also. I have been able to overcome my age-related ailments like prostate, hernia. Prostate, I went to the doctor and then got some advice, but later on I referred to the Bible of Dr. B.K.'s Iyengar, and I never went back to the doctor again. Thank God, it is perfectly under control without any pill. Hernia started appearing. I could know it is hernia. I never went for any consultancy, but I overcame through yoga. Yes, a lot of varicose veins history is there. I don't take any pill. I do yoga and try to control it. Sinusitis was one of the damages caused to me. I used to get very frequently ill because of the cold, cough, and fever. I adopted yoga. One of the slides I will explain to you how it helped me to avoid completely the cold and the fever for 7 to 8 years. Thank God, with the blessings of God, I have never visited hospital or doctor for my ailments except for my vaccination 3 times, and also my dental. Now it has started, the dental has started. Otherwise, I'm fortunate enough to be away from the normal ailments of the human, the hypertension and the diabetes. I'm free from that with the blessings of God and my parents. I will switch over to my presentation. It will be purely a session on pranayama and part of meditation. And I intend spending about 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the session as a small exercise to relax your mind. If time permits, we will do that. And I am ready to ask any questions after that. I am with you for any length of time. My presentation will take about 45 minutes, after which 10 minutes I just earmarked for the small exercise session, after which the questions would be taken. Let me switch over to my presentation. This is Lord Patanjali, who has guided the entire world with the health, a direct disciple of Shiva. Shiva passed on to Ganapati and then to Patanjali. He has written 8 volumes on yoga, starting from the discipline in yoga. First of all, he calls it a discipline rather than an exercise or a habit. So yama niyama, then he has put up asana, pranayama, dharana. People can attend. It is possible only for some saints to do it. However, for keeping ourselves active, energetic, the other aspects of asana, pranayama, meditation are required. Though I do not want to cover more on the asanas because the audience is senior citizens whom I cannot ask them to do all the asanas. I will just explain a couple of asanas which they can do, which will help them. I'll concentrate more on pranayama and meditation, part of meditation. Lord Patanjali, whatever normally we pray for Lord Patanjali before we start any yoga session. Just bear with me for a minute or two for my prayer. Yogena chittasya patena vacha malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram munina Patanjalin pranjarilanatosmi abaha purushakaram shankachakrastidaryanam sahasra sirasam shvetam pranamami Patanjali Hari Om Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I pray for Lord Patanjali to bless all of us, our families, our children, our kith and kin with better health. Let us also pray for all the people who are suffering from ailments to recover fast and join their families. Our special prayers are due to the soldiers who gave up their lives in the recent war between Ukraine and Russia. May God bless the souls and also those who are wounded to recover fast. Thank you. Yoga is not religion oriented. Anybody who wants to keep himself healthy, energetic, can do yoga. There are postures of yoga in almost all the religions during the prayer. Life in yoga. Everyone thinks that yoga is fit for saints, aged people who have no better business. Yoga is not an eternal life. It is about a sensible life. You feel that you are a human being extending help to others. Aging in the normal course is adding years to life, but in yoga, it is adding life to years. Some of the slides, some of the points, there could be a repetition over the last session, but I have minimized it. Whatever that's possible, I'll put it. Yoga is good for community, immunity, and unity. It has no community, creates immunity, and when all of you join together, it creates unity among the people. Total health is not just a bodily health, but also in mind. Yoga is the science of holistic living. Sir Aurobindo said, yoga is a methodical effort towards self-perfection at the physical, vital, mental, intellectual, and spiritual levels. He put spiritual levels at the end. Spirituality cannot be taught. It has to be earned. It has to be earned by self. And it is possible to get it when once you start the yoga on your own. But preliminary, it is pure science. Just observe this particular slide. The body, you can see here, all the parts of the body are getting rejuvenated. These are called chakras in yoga, which is very specific to pranayama. That's why I'm putting it. And chakras are nothing but glands in the medical parlance. The pancreas, the thyroid, thymus gland, pituitary gland, all the glands are indicated through chakras. We call it Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agna, and Sahasrara. Normal ailments of senior citizens are general weakness, which is there in me also, backache, I have overcome, cervical problems are common, shoulder problem, they will not be able to lift their hands up, shoulder problem, very common, insomnia, sleeplessness, eye and ear defects, thank God, blessings of God, I have not been able to be a victim for either of them. My eye doctor says that because of your yoga, even at 84, you don't have the cataract. But I may get into this after some years. I just give you the example. Blood pressure and diabetes very common even in 25 years of boy now, whereas Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are specific to late age people. Most of the ailments are on account of the stress. I explained in the first session, showing about 8 to 10 slides on stress, how you get stressed, how to overcome, etc. I've just borrowed one slide for this session. I don't want to get into details of the stress, how do you get it, etc. It is possible to overcome stress through yoga. You be less stressful. Stress doesn't mean that it is zero. The stress has to be there to make you work, but it should be at the minimal level. There are two ways of expression of stress. One is psychological, second is physiological. Psychological is particularly about the mind. I told last time the physics, chemistry, biology of yoga. In that I have explained what is the psychology and physiology. Anyway, psychology is anxiety, fear, depression, anger, sadness. The physiology, the bodily stress results in acidity, ulcers, heart ailments, blood pressure, kidney problems, and diabetes. We use the word Om in yoga very much. This is a very, very powerful word of the sun. This is Om in Hindu community. It is Amen in another community. It is Amin in another community. All the three respond to our prayers to God. The sacred sound of the sun. Om is the sacred sound of the sun. It is not Om, mouth. It is the sacred sound of the sun. It aligns the chakras for life energy. You saw the first slide, the chakras. When once you invite sun, you are inviting energy, life energy, which aligns the chakras. It reduces the anxiety and stress, improves blood circulation, improves nervous function, provides a sense of control, positive emotions in depression and epilepsy. It combines the body, mind, and universal frequencies. This is exactly the 10 minutes exercise I said at the end of the session using Om. Om has the scientific properties like it is electrochemical, electromagnetic, electropsychic. Headache can be easily removed with Omkara. The psychic problems can also be overcome with just Omkara and breathing. It produces what's called melatonin, which calms the mind and the brain and the body. It increases the production of saliva, which is very much required for stabilizing the brain. Saliva is a brain stabilizer. The vibration in vocal cord and the sinus results in increased saliva. The vagus nerve, one of the strongest cranial nerve in the brain, is activated with Omkara because it has the vocal sound. General information about benefits of yoga for the people who did not attend the first session. It increases the flexibility in the body, builds strength, relieves pain, increases the energy level, improves respiration, increases the self-awareness. I am like this. That awareness will increase, improves concentration. Concentration is not looking at it and then making the prayer. Whatever work you do, if you concentrate, then you will do much better. It boosts immunity, improves sleep, promotes inner peace. It's called inner peace, which you have to feel. It can't be taught. It reduces stress and improves circulation. Coming to the pranayama part of it, prana is life, energy. It's called ki in Chinese. When you start working on this pranayama, the fear, excitement, depression, disappointment, anger, anxiety, all will be calmed down, cooled down automatically. Prana, to explain prana, is oxygen. A person can live for minutes, hours, days without everything else, but he can't stay for even for a minute without the oxygen level, the prana. In Kannada, they say prana hoitu. In English, they say his breath is lost. When I go to that particular slide, I'll explain the philosophy and the science also. It increases the level of oxygen in the lungs. It removes carbon dioxide and the toxins from the body. Immunity automatically gets stabilized. The blood supply improves. Concentration of mind automatically improves. The philosophy is that a person breathes 21,000 times of breath. If you just observe the seconds of your breath, you will understand how important it is. The example he has given in the book is about the fire and ashes. I explain this example. Remember, a smoldering wood with very hot is lying there covered with the ash. When the ash is there, the heat generated by the smoldering wood will be much less. Let there be a breeze across. The breeze takes away all the external factors of ash, then the wood becomes stronger. This is exactly what happens in the humans. The inner mind is already there with a lot of energy. We don't know how energetic you are, even at 90, 100, but it is veiled, camouflaged by our thoughts, our negative thoughts, and our bad lifestyle. I don't say bad, our lifestyle. When once you start doing pranayama, it removes all the external features and then opens up the fire, the energy in your body. This I had already explained last time. I will still explain for the benefit of those who did not attend. This is the breathing technique of the human. A person normally breathes 5 to 7 seconds a breath. You can observe with a stopwatch. You inhale and exhale. In the normal course, try about 5-6 times. Then you will know you have not gone beyond 7 or 8 seconds of breath. I told you about prana and the number of breaths. Who gives the number of breaths? The God Almighty. The Almighty Almighty has written the number of breaths per human for me, for you all, but we don't know. That's why when we quit this world, the slogan is, a breath is lost. So when the number of breaths are written by God, you can't fight against God to increase the number. But on the other hand, you can increase the level of breathing by modifications. What is the modification? Here you are breathing 5 seconds, exhaling 5 seconds, normal. Now you increase the level of inhale to 10 seconds and exhale for another 10 seconds and hold in between. This is called regular breathing, and this is called deep breathing. We have started working on pranayama. Why should we inhale 10 seconds? Why should we hold? Why should we exhale 30 seconds? You will see here. I will explain 1 or 2 slides after. These are the lungs. Every one of us has a pair of lungs, left and right. And the lungs are consisting of what are called small cells called alveoli, which we would have read even in our middle school level. There are 700 to 720 million alveoli in everybody's heart, lungs, both the lungs put together. When we do the earlier this breathing in the normal course, we use only 200 to 250. It has about 5 liters of capacity. We hardly use 1 to 1.5 liters. I have already told you about the philosophy. I don't want to repeat once again. Once you inhale more, this 200 to 250 increases to 300, 350. And when you hold, the enhanced quantum of oxygen taken in is optimally utilized by the body. That's why we hold it for 10 seconds, we inhale for 10 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds, and the exhale also is for 10 seconds. The reason is, I'll show you the reason in the next slide. This is a single alveoli where the bad blood gets into the lungs, carbon dioxide is pulled out of the blood, and the oxygen is put in. This is the food for all the organs of the body. In the body, the oxygen is the food. You can't give anything else. The oxygenated blood, if it flows to every organ, the organ will be functional normally. So now you understand, the more of oxygen you take, the better will be the contents of the oxygenated blood in the body. The more you exhale, the 10 seconds, you are taking more of the toxins out of the body, allowing more of oxygen to get in. This is the normal blood flow of a human. It is very important for you to understand the importance of pranayama, the importance of level of oxygen. This is the body. From the body, the bad blood is pulled in and goes to the heart. In the heart, nothing happens except pushing it onto the lungs. These are the 2 lungs. Here you can see the bad blood or venomous blood, and this is the level where the change of oxygen, carbon dioxide to oxygen, we call it gas exchange, takes place, and then good blood is again coming back to the heart. Now you understand, the more you take oxygen, maximum blood will be purified or oxygenated, comes to the heart, and then it gets distributed into the body. Now, by chance, your oxygen level is not enough. The heart doesn't decipher whether it's the good blood or bad blood, whether it's venomous blood or non-oxygenated blood. Whatever blood comes from the lungs gets into the body. When once enough oxygen is not available, when the bad blood or the venomous blood gets into the body, see what happens. This it starts forming plaques in the vessels. When the plaques increase in size, the flow of blood gets reduced. This causes pressure on the heart, resulting in what is called blood pressure. When this happens, because of inadequate quantum of oxygen, then we go to the doctor for angio. He tries to push these apart. If it doesn't happen, he'll put a stent here. In the normal course, tries to push it. Suppose it is calcified, then even with this, it doesn't happen, then he goes to a bypass. So bypass can be avoided if you start pranayama from the very beginning or even at a later stage. This is the coronary artery of the heart, and this is the actual photo. When this gets calcified, then the bypass comes in. To avoid the plaque formation, the best effort is to increase the level of oxygen in the body, not only for this, but for so many other things also. Heart pumps 7,000 liters of blood every day. My God, there's no 7,000 liters, there's only 5 liters of blood in the body. It gets pumped up so often. We need rest. After food, we need 1 hour break. We need rest in the night. We need rest after strenuous work. Heart keeps on working till the end of our lives. It doesn't get rest. If it rests, we are nowhere. 70% of the blood has to go to the brain, 30% to the body. This is the reason why the brain gets affected at a later age. If there is enough blood to the brain from the very beginning, the psychosomatic ailments could be reduced. That's why they suggest some asanas in yoga which provides blood to the brain. That is head down, legs up, which very rarely old age people can do it. But I have some suggestions for that also. Everybody knows about the systole and diastole, 0.3 seconds and 0.5 seconds and 72 heartbeats a minute. Now, when the stress happens, during stress, the relaxing period gets reduced. What happens? The purification slows down. As explained, the impure blood, I call just improved blood, but non-oxygenated blood gets into the stream. It results in deposits. As explained, stress is a factor. Everybody thinks stress is no exercise, overeating, no, etc., etc. But 70% of the stress is due to emotions, thinking, attitude, and memories. Only 20 to 25% is due to the diet, bad diet, cholesterol, increase of cholesterol, no exercise. All these account for about 25 to 30%, whereas 70% is due to your own mind, emotions. Let us get into straight away the second type of pranayama. There are various types of pranayama. I don't want to go into all the pranayama details. I will just explain about 3 or 4. One is deep breathing, which you saw at the beginning, is a part of pranayama. It's called Sarala Pranayama, simple pranayama. This is called Anulom Vilom. Everybody knows the alternate nostril breathing. If I ask anybody, do you know pranayama? Immediately he will take his right hand and put it on his nose and say, I don't. It's not so. The alternate nostril breathing is inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. You surprised. Why should we do it? When God has given 2 nostrils, why do you want to block one and then do it? It has science behind that. The science is that when you inhale from the left nostril, the right part of the brain, there are 2 hemispheres of the brain, the right and the left. The right part has some functions to do. Left part has some other functions to do. For example, the right has got the creativity and imagination, whereas the left has logics, mathematics, and training. A person can, we can say that a person's left or right brain is active based on his behavior on these characters, and he can correct it. This is what the doctors in NIMHANS are trying and coming out with some results. When you inhale from the left nostril, the right brain gets rejuvenated, more of oxygen, and vice versa. You can, best example is when you see a person with paralytic stroke. If he has the paralysis to the right, there would be invariably, most of the cases, there would be a block on the left part of the brain, and vice versa. You can check on this. These are the two. This is the simple bifurcation, imaginary bifurcation, and getting into more of science. I told you something about science. It rejuvenates right and left nostrils. The more deeper science of this particular pranayama is that the nervous system gets affected better. The autonomic nervous system controls the function of all the parts of the body. The brain controls every part of the body, including your speech, looking, hearing, movement of the muscles, etc. They are called neurons. Motor neurons are required for movement of the body. Audio is required for ears. Optical is for eyes. So the brain has so many factors and it controls every part of the body, but it has two sectors in its function. One is called the sympathetic, second is called parasympathetic. You might have heard of this. Sympathetic is aggressive, the fight or flight. Parasympathetic is passive, rest or digest. Both these things are present. When once the sympathetic nervous system is very important from at the beginning, because you should be motivated to walk. You want to walk, the sympathetic nervous system has to function. But overwalking, overstrenuous, the parasympathetic nervous system has to be activated to calm the system. So this particular parasympathetic nervous system has the effect of calming the mind and the brain. Pranayama and meditation have the best characteristics of rejuvenating the parasympathetic nervous system. Thereby, if you start yoga, your anger will be reduced, you become calm, and you will be rejuvenated throughout the body. The expectation and acceptance of the two things which I have explained already in the first session, to think of positivity. I expect 200 people to participate. If I get 70 or 60 or 70, I should accept it. Then there is no stress if you accept it. When you do not accept, the sympathetic nervous system keeps on walking. When you accept it, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes active. Another example is about sympathetic and parasympathetic is when you want to cross the road, you come to the end of the road and look on either side. The sympathetic nervous system says, you go, proceed. That is aggressive. Immediately, parasympathetic nervous system comes into function and says, oh, there is a vehicle coming in the left. Wait for that vehicle to pass, then go. That is the difference between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. This happens in every activity of the human. This is when you have this balancing, your mind will be calm. This balancing is a natural factor. God could have given one nostril, but he has a mind to activate and balance both the parts of the brain. That's why he has given two nostrils. In the normal course, you might not have observed, the breathing occurs 70% with the left or the right and 30% on the other, or 60-40. After three hours or 3.5 hours, it changes naturally. It switches over to right at 60 and left at 40. It's a natural phenomena. You might not have observed. You observe tomorrow before you start walking, whether you are breathing more through the right or the left. This is a good exercise. You can do it tomorrow when you are free. The greatest distance in the world is not New York and 11 hours of journey to India, but it is in your own mind and heart. 14 inches is the greatest distance in the world. You cannot combine your heart and the mind. They go astray. Then you go astray. Enemy occupies more space in the brain than a well-wisher in the heart. Negative thoughts, 60,000 thoughts. Last time I told you, 60,000 thoughts get into the brain of a human in a day. And many of them are negative thoughts. And many of them, the negative thoughts keep on repeating. That's why you become little negative. If you control your mind, convert that negative into positivity, then you will be fresh, you will be energetic. Don't damage the brain, but improve the heart. This is another variety of pranayama called Brahmari. You can ask me a question, why there are so many varieties of pranayama when you think that only oxygen is important? The first Sarala pranayama is more to increase the level of oxygen in the body, whereas the others are more scientific towards something else. Brahmari. What is Brahmari pranayama? You block the light of the day, the world, you block the sound of the world, then you create your own sound. That is, you close the eyes, cover the eyes, excuse me. You close the eyes with one of the fingers and block the earlobes with the thumb. While inhaling, you are not going to press anything, but while exhaling, you are going to close the earlobes. That means you will not hear anything from the outside, and by closing the eyes, you are not looking anything from outside. But while exhaling, you create the sound of honey bee. Instead of breathing out, you produce the sound of honey bee like this. Bee. My throat is bad, that's why you get it. So this continues. When you create the sound of honey bee, produce the sound of honey bee, what happens? Let us see the science behind this. It creates a vibration in the brain. Vibration in the brain. It activates the nervous system. Migraine, vertigo, headache are all, they run away when you start doing Brahmari. One of the persons who used to attend the classes, I will explain what class I take. He had two of them, one lady and one gentleman. They told me that they had headache before the session started, and after the completion of the session within 1 hour, the headache was out. This cannot be done for migraine and vertigo because they are more deep rooted. It takes longer time. I very well remember in one of our classes, one of the students was a doctor from medical hospital. She had migraine for years together, and then we suggested her the Brahmari pranayama. We went on doing it. She went on practicing it. It took 2 years for her to get rid of that. The interval, which was hardly week, every week she used to get the migraine. Now she doesn't know when she got the migraine last, maybe 6 months or 8 months. It is possible to do it. That is science in pranayama. The nasal sinuses produce nitric oxide. I will show you the sinus and the production of nitric oxide in one of the slides I had. What is the importance of nitric oxide? Nitric oxide inhibits the virus replication. The virus can enter through the nostril. When once you do Bhramari Pranayama, in addition to the saliva, increasing of saliva, the nostrils produce more of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is generally produced in the body in a small quantity. It has lot of plus points in the body. When you do the humming, first, it increases the production of nitric oxide 15 times. This is the science with which you can take advantage of. Nitric oxide reduces the BP. How? I told you, explain to you what is pressure. The vascular system, if there's a free flow of blood throughout the vascular system, there'll be no pressure on the blood. Blood pressure will be normal. It's a vasodilator. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It increases the circumference and the radius of the vascular system. Thereby, the blood flows easily, the BP comes down. In addition, it activates the vagus nerve. This is getting into more science. For example, in the normal course, this is the wavelength, which is so confusing. You can see it's close and confusing. This is the normal course. When you start deep breathing, the wavelength gets streamlined a bit, like this. When you do pranayama, still improvement will be there. And these two are in meditation. And this, to reach this level, it is rather difficult for a normal human. This some people have reached. This indicates that the brain calms down so much, say physically and mentally relaxed. This is like deep sleep, the loss of bodily awareness. The physical body is forgotten. This happens in meditation. This is another pranayama. This is not a swimming pool. Don't mistake it. It is another showing the another pranayama called Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati is moving the lower abdomen with force. You can see the same gentleman with a belly increased in volume, and here it has gone in. This is another pranayama which is done by inhaling deep, and before exhaling, you make it inhale and exhale faster. Like this. You might have seen Ramdev doing it a number of times. His favorite pranayama is Agni Surya or Kapalabhati. This, if you keep doing it, once again explain, you increase by taking air in and exhale by taking the toxins out. What happens in this case? Kapalabhati, it massages the muscles of the abdomen. I'm talking about science of Kapalabhati. So massages the muscles of the abdomen, energizes abdominal organs like liver, kidney, spleen, etc. Because it pumps, actually creates a pumping effect on the lower abdomen. Improves blood circulation because the muscles of the heart also get exercised. It improves the blood circulation. It rejuvenates the brain cells and the nervous system. You can try it out yourself, how effective it is. It reduces the fatigue and energizes you, and it produces immunity because all the organs are activated, the brain is activated, nervous system is activated, all the glands are activated, the thymus gland starts producing a lot of antibodies to produce immunity in the body. What are the effects of Kapalabhati? Good for hernia, ulcerative colitis. It energizes the pancreas and abdominal gland. Pancreas, many of us know, pancreas doesn't function, you get into diabetes, the insulin factor. Abdominal gland, many ladies know, because when they reach the menopause, the abdominal gland starts ill functioning. Thereby, you will have different levels of thoughts. It reduces the acidity, gastric problems, It improves the digestive tract, activates the lymphatic system. Very few people know about the lymphatic system. This is the excretory function of the body. Sweat, exhale, fecal, urine, all this, the lymphatic system is activated because of this. This is about the science of all the 3 or 4 types of pranayama. Now I come to what is called Jalaniti. Jalaniti, there are so many factors, Jalaniti, Netraliti, so many things, but I want to concentrate only on one, Jalaniti, because I have gained lot of health because of this. Jalaniti is, I explained to you the nasal sacs. See, these two and these two are the 4 nasal sacs in the face. When you inhale, it goes into this, gets filtered here and gets into the lungs. Jalaniti is taking lukewarm water with added salt, a pinch of salt. So it is lukewarm and saltish. When you take it through this, using a small plastic cup like with a gooseneck, insert it in the nostril and try just bend, the water automatically flows through the other nostril without your knowledge, without any efforts from you. You will be afraid of doing it because you don't know. But the only caution is you must keep your mouth open, because when the nostrils are blocked, you have to breathe. You can breathe through the mouth. And what happens? When the salt water, warm water gets into it, it cleans up, sanitizes, cleans up the entire thing, and automatically comes out without any efforts. You will not know that's coming out unless you see through a mirror. But this has to be done under the guidance of a guide. Otherwise, you will start coughing and you will not do it. Many people, this is one of the best medicines for sinusitis and cold. For your information, with the blessings of God and my parents, I told you I never visited a doctor for 7 or 8 years. It is due to this Jalaniti and Pranayama. Jalaniti keeps both the nostrils open, thereby a lot of oxygen goes in automatically, and with Pranayama, the increased level of oxygen, thereby all the organs are kept intact, oxygenation of the blood takes place well, and you are avoiding the sinusitis and rhinitis. Rhinitis is something like the nose becoming reddish, cough, cough, cough. I never had a cough for last 7 or 8 years, except the allergic cough, the dry cough. The original cough from the lungs is not there at all. Sinusitis. To tell you, out of 40 people who attend my classes, 10 people were having sinusitis. When I told them, showed them how to do it, they started. About 12 of them started. 2 of them were afraid of they were afraid, where will the water go? But the 10 people, within 2 months or 3 months, they completely stopped the sinusitis. They are having better sleep in the night. This avoids accumulation of allergens in the nostril, in the body. That's all about the pranayama. I'm just giving some more details about the senior citizens. There's what is called AAADS. Some of you might have heard of it. Age-activated attention deficit syndrome. It means, example, you can visualize yourself. You are writing something or doing something. Suddenly you remember you have to do the second one. So you leave it at that and then go to the second one, forgetting the first. When you are doing the second, your wife or husband calls you for a cup of tea, then you leave both and then go for a cup of tea. When you are trying to have a cup of tea, there's a call, telephone call, to attend the call. This happens in the normal course with age. In Kannada, it is called Arulo Marulo. That means a little of forgetfulness, but never feel that you are an Alzheimer or Parkinson's or something like that. Because you know you have forgotten. A person with Alzheimer's will not know that he has forgotten. That is the difference. It's called anosognia. I don't want to explain too much about it. Health, activity, social service, if you keep doing it, you will be healthy. I am conducting online pranayama and meditation classes twice a week. I will give some details in the next slide. Twice a week in the evening between 7 and 8. I don't want to charge and make money out of it. God has given me 2 meals a day. I get my pension. I have not made money in my service. But God has blessed me with 2 meals a day. Me and my wife, my 2 children are out of somewhere else, and we live happily, self-contented. That's why I don't want to make money out of this. It is a social service I'm rendering. Anybody can join and no charges. Now, the senior citizens, that's just an offshoot, are worried about the security. Oh, what happens to me if I go out? I may not come back because you are not steady. Imbalance is the first thing that happens in the age. I'm just given as Bagban movie. In the Bagban movie, you can understand how children cheat the father. Start the day early with a prayer. Mother Teresa says, I thought I will change myself and the world with my prayer. Then she realized that I can't change with the prayer. The prayer changes me and I change the environment. That's what she says. And Saint Purandaradasa has said that God has given you 2 eyes for you to look good in others. Normally, if he is better, the jealousy immediately comes into the picture. See good in others. Always, that is a positive look. Life is a question. Death is an answer. Why should we bother about it? All senior citizens have done well in their life. All the children are settled. Not to worry. You live with your wife or husband and enjoy till you get the answer. Happiness is a journey, not a destination. Today I will have a glass of whiskey and be happy. No. Happiness is a journey. It's not destination. Every day you should be happy. I don't mean that every day you should have a glass of whiskey, but you should be happy every day. Worry looks around, sorry looks back, faith looks up. Should have faith in what you do. Something is eat and live. Don't live to eat. Eat whatever you need just to live. Limit your eat. Then you will avoid gastritis. The main reason for gastritis is overeating. If you eat less, absolutely no gastritis. So eat and live. Don't live to eat. Enemy occupies the more space in the brain. I have explained already. The mind is a powerful force. The mind is a powerful force. It can enslave you or empower you. If you keep the mind under control, you are empowering it. If the mind controls you, it enslaves you. It's something like a crystal. Crystal has no color. If you put light, it reflects. If you put green, it becomes green. Red, it becomes red. If you take it out, it becomes a crystal. Your mind is like that. It is for you to train your mind. That's why pranayama, meditation are required. The regular yoga, pranayama, meditation relaxes your mind. I just want to break for a joke here. Explain one joke on the other day, on the first session. This is another joke. It's just a joke. A senior bureaucrat or an officer goes to the hospital for a brain surgery. Successful surgery of the brain. He will be sitting with his family at the time of discharge. As usual, he'll be looking into what is the bill, what is the how much is this, how much is this, everything will be looking into it. You're about to get discharged after making the payment. Suddenly, the doctor starts running to him with a glass jar in his hand. Oh, Mister, we have forgotten to put the most intelligent part of your brain into your brain during operation. I repeat once again, the most intelligent part of your brain into your brain. That means he has without that intelligent part of the brain. Doctor says, sorry, we could not do it. This man casually says, don't worry, I am a bank officer. I don't need that intelligence. I mean, just a bank officer, bureaucrat, whatever it is. The mind is so powerful that it can enslave you. Coming to the meditation part of it, I can't explain too much of meditation on slides. But if you join my class of pranayama and meditation, I will share the link with Vayomanasa as well as our colleague Sunita Dubey. The 60 plus also can get the benefit of the pranayama and meditation on every Wednesday and Sunday. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I have the next session. It is 199th session. 199th session. We are completing 200 next week. So anybody can join. The only requirement is you have to just come online, like whatever you are doing now, and with a mat. If you can sit down, okay. If you cannot sit down, you can sit on the chair. But meditation, I need that you should lie down either on the mat, on the ground, or on the cot. I leave it to you. So if you join, then you will understand more of meditation. There are different types of meditation, like single pointed meditation. That is to remove the trauma from your mind and the body. If you have the trauma, if you have seen an accident or a snake bite in your younger days, it remains in your mind forever. That is trauma. Every organ is connected with the emotions. Liver is connected with the anger, something like that. So the trauma is the kidneys, you can remove the trauma. Single point in meditation. Guided imagery, this is what I do. I guide you to get into meditation. And the mindful awareness, when once you get into meditation, you will forget you are alive. Don't say, I'm going to kill you. No, you will get into your inner mind. You will leave a physical from the mind part of it, you will go to inner mind. Breath awareness. This is what exactly I thought we could spend about 10 minutes to get in some realization of what it is. Breath awareness, mindful movement, and you can do body scanning through what is called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a long meditation where you go to each part of the organ and scan it and activate it. Meditation improves concentration of mind, reduces the nervous debility, releases the stress and strain. It activates the brain cells. It is a psychotherapy. NIMHANS have done wonderful work on the meditation, and they have given pictures of brain improving its capacity and its regeneration of a part of the brain because of meditation. I attended 5-day seminar. Wonderful. They are doing wonderful job in association with Yuvasan. It revitalizes the glands. It is a recovery from injury. If you just start chanting Omkara, you will understand how effective it is. It is the mental discipline. It releases restlessness, confusion, the arterial blockage or hypertension. The digestive ailments are overcome through meditation. Sleep disorder is the first thing that will happen. It will be ordered, you'll be ordered to sleep well with mental peace. The psychosomatic elements like Alzheimer's, dementia can be avoided. the ulcerative colitis, kidney problems. It lowers the blood pressure, reverses the arterial blockage, enhances the resistance to heart diseases and strokes, maintains the wall thickness of arteries. All these are measured by California Institute using intravascular ultrasound. All these facts I have been telling are not mine. It's all borrowed from the scientific information of various institutes. It melts tension away. He compares the iron. Iron cannot be destroyed. Normally, it's quite strong, but its rust can destroy iron. The rust can destroy iron. Your rust on your brain can destroy you. I was telling about the different capacities of the brain. I'm just giving only one slide on this. This is the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, and occipital lobe. Just for information. What happens during meditation? The frontal cortex, speech, movement, thinking switches off in meditation. No speech, no movement, no thinking. Parietal lobe, this is the orientation in space. Activity slows down. Thalamus, the CPU, center of sensitivity, minimizes flow of incoming information. When the incoming information is slowed down, the brain gets rest. That's what happens in pranayama and meditation both. The processing of information work reduces zero. All this happened during meditation, proved beyond science by NIMHANS and many other institutions in the world. What is the result? The work of the brain improves, the pressure returns to normal, the level of stress decreases, the aging of the brain slows down, the degenerative diseases of the nerves is brought under control. This is one of the slides. I have borrowed it from one of the studies made by NIMHANS. Meditation, it creates awareness, attention control, emotion regulation, conscious response, effort to reduce mind wandering. Mind wandering, I explained last time, enhanced self-regulation. This is, of course, a concept by me. You have heard of some parts of yoga in the first session, that is the asana. Now, I have explained pranayama and part of meditation. As I told you, I won't be able to explain the meditation part of it unless you do it and then feel it. What happens to meditation, I have explained. Now, this is a concept created by me. I have compared yoga as a factory, into a factory. Factory means you require space, body is the space, and you require raw materials, that is oxygen and the blood. You require the machinery in a factory, lungs are the machinery. You require energy to run the machinery, that is the glands create energy to the lungs. You require a process to convert the raw materials into a product. The process is pranayama. The processor, today is a digital word, the processor is alveoli. With all these combinations and coordination, the result is immunity and good blood. The factory manager or the factory owner doesn't keep quiet with the product. He distributes the product to get money. Asanas distribute this specific purified blood and to the entire body. In a factory, always, as just like Barandur Lake, you have all the factories emitting a lot of that, and body also takes away the toxins out of it, that is the urine, bowels, and sweat. So this is the complete history of the factory. This is a concept created by, you will not get this in any of the books. I told you only 2 asanas I will explain to you, which any person can do. This is, everybody knows, those who are doing yoga, Shavasana, resting page, and this is called the chair Shavasana. You are lying down on the floor with the legs on the chair. The advantage here is the blood starts slowly flowing down to the body and to the mind with less exertion on the heart. Otherwise, 70%. Most of the time you are sitting except when you are sleeping. Never your head is down, legs are up. But even in sleep, legs and head are on the same level. But only in yoga and some asanas, you get the head down, which will provide enough blood to the mind and the brain. This provides some sort of a relief. Here what happens, because the blood flows into the body and without any effort of the heart gets slight rest. The muscles get slight rest because of the less efforts. Then they start rejuvenating. You can read here, soothes the entire body, reduces strain on the heart, increases the blood flow to the brain, calming the mind, relieves symptoms of cold, cough, and tonsillitis, relieves symptoms of menopause. One more asana, which is slightly difficult, but it is possible to do it. Don't look into this picture. Let's look into this picture. You have to go near the wall and put both the legs to the wall, body to the ground. This is called Viparita Karani. It has tremendous advantage. Ladies, when they do the part of the kitchen, washing and all that, nowadays nobody does it because the washing machine is there. The maid cooks the food. We only eat. Okay. But when you feel tired after going to a mall, spending a lot of money, then the rest is putting the legs up on the walls and the body down. How you do it? Gradually you can do it. You can do it on the chair. Keep the chair, the leg, the previous one you saw, just in same position, you raise the legs and then you hold it for some time. Then you are allowing the blood to flow into the brain and it calms the mind, nourishes the face, ears, nostrils. You will get glowing eyes without using any of the cosmetics. It relieves stress, related headaches, and migraine. Yoga, explore, experiment, experience, enjoy good health, emerge as positive human and efficient citizen. I told you for 10 minutes we will do some small exercise. If you are ready, then we will start. Gina, can we spend another 10 minutes on this? Gina? Sit wherever you are. This is my number. You can get in touch with Vayomanasa. They will give my number as well as email ID.